Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Edward Oropeza, the guitarist for Ballista and Kurama. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated Crew? Today on the podcast, joined by Ed from Ballista, Kurama, the Optimist.
Oh yeah. The Optimist. Yeah, it's not a functioning band anymore, but yeah, I need to get rid of. Maybe I need to update my bio a little bit.
I was snooping. But yeah. How are you today?
I'm good. I was gonna message you at 5 Central Time this morning because I just got home from helping out some of our friends. We had a late band practice yesterday, and our fill-in bassist Irving, who you probably met in Canada, he had some car trouble, so I was helping him out. Drove home to get a jump start thing, went back over there and got to be really late, so I didn't get home. I had too much sleep. Other than that, I'm doing great. For maybe 4 hours of sleep, I'm feeling good.
Damn. We had about the same. We had about the same amount of sleep. My wife was brewing her seasonal beer last night. Whoa. And it got into the wee hours of the morning where I was trying to help her. So yeah, we're about on the same amount of sleep, I think.
Hell yeah, brother.
Feeling fresh, feeling great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm thinking more coffee.
Oh yeah. Well, let's. What do you got? What do you got going on over there?
So my typical after a good hot minute, I was into this real estate dude on YouTube. Anyway, long story short, I started figuring out I should make my own 20-cent iced coffee type shit, and so I got this cold brew style maker at home, and what I'm running is this light roast Texas toast, or I think it's a Texas Pecan is what the flavor is. It's delicious, and it's my go-to, but I usually get it at Sprouts, just in the bulk section.
Nice.
And some of that, put in the little cold brew thing, let it sit for only 4 hours. And then the other thing that I do is, because I'm vegetarian and I don't get enough protein as is, I put one of these bad boys in there.
Nice.
Get a little bit of sweetness to it, and a little bit of milk creamer, if you will.
That premier protein. I'm used to the Ensures, because I don't know if it's a thing in Mexico or from Texas, but my wife growing up used to drink Ensures because her mom made her do it. So I'm very much used to seeing those in the house.
Yeah, I can attest. Actually, that's so crazy that you mentioned that. I've never put the correlation in my head of that's probably why I do those now, because I do remember the Ensures being in my life whenever I was younger, in our whole household. Comes full circle, huh?
I'm not sure if it was a thing that she brought from Mexico when she came to Texas, or if it's just people in Texas do it. But
yeah,
but I do see a lot of boxers using them too.
Oh, that makes me feel better. Yeah. I thought it was just a me thinking that I'm being healthy, and or trying to convince myself that I'm being healthy, and I'll just buy them in bulk at Costco. Just I'm doing the right thing for my body.
We switched to the Vega. Have you seen the Vega one? The big plant-based powders?
Yeah, I've bought some of those in the past. Yeah, those are solid.
That's what we've been using though. You can make overnight.
The powderful?
Yeah, because you can do a shake, or you can make overnight oats with them, which I love overnight oats. So Yeah.
I don't think I've tried overnight oats, but I will
You
do
should
that.
try it. You should try it. There's this German dude I saw. His recipe's fucking awesome. And he made this like tiramisu style overnight oats. And it's very sweet and good.
I'm gonna put that in my notes. So go ahead and try that out.
You should.
I can find.
It's like a mad amount of protein too.
Hell yeah. I'm all about it because I feel like, especially now as I have the downtime and I'm going back to the gym, and just need to get more protein. So I don't eat throughout the day as much as I do, especially when I get high.
How are you gonna rip lifts without having that mad protein?
I was struggling yesterday, I'll tell you that. I was doing legs and I was like, the fuck am I doing? Why did I eat before this? Fucking animal.
This man needs some eggs and milk. Oh, you can eat eggs.
Yeah, I can eat some eggs.
Yeah.
I feel like the Mexican in me has prevented me from like jumping into full-fledged vegan territory. So hear me out. I like eggs. I like cheese. I just feel like that's a Mexican staple to some degree. We claim it.
You already got rid of like most of the stuff. Like you can't have like all of the nice, juicy, like cooked in your own fat meats, right? You just hold on to the eggs and the cheese and the butter.
Yeah. La manteca.
Yeah, the manteca or the you gotta, what is it? Manteca de puerco.
Yeah.
Like pork lard. Yeah.
Yeah, pork fat. Yeah. You got it. You got it. Spot on. And it's a wife now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife's been she's been doing you good.
We've been together 10 years. I should know by now, right?
You make a fair point. Yeah. When you put it that way. Yeah. Because I remember meeting you in Canada and like hanging out and stuff, and like you're Spanish and stuff, like the way it rolled off your tongue. I'm like, damn, this dude knows what's up.
I try. I dabble. I dabble.
Professional dabbler.
I'll tell you what I'm drinking. My friend recently went to Oaxaca on vacation and brought back some like straight from the roaster coffee. It's called Melosos. It's from, this is a hard one. I don't know if I can pronounce this. Santa Cruz Olotepec. That's a fucking word. And it's a natural double fermented coffee from Oaxaca, essentially.
Any particular notes that you're getting from it?
Thank you for asking that, because nobody ever asks that.
If I learned anything from your Mackie podcast, it's like, you're the little tidbits. Actually, the lumpy one too. Oh, there's I forgot what there was. I think you mentioned like, what is it? Goose something?
Gooseberries or some shit. Yeah.
And bergamot, was it?
Man, does anybody know what a bergamot tastes like?
Not I. You were like explaining it, and I was like, okay.
I've never seen one in the wild, a bergamot. So this it's like a super chocolatey coffee. It's like a chocolate amaro kind of, so like the liqueur. And there's like a million notes written, but the handwriting is almost impossible to read. Like it's written by hand. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, it's like
that's super cool.
Some honey, vanilla, a lot of chocolate though, which is pretty common in a Oaxacan coffee.
Did not know.
But yeah, it's very good.
Within the year, about how many different bags of like coffee beans do you think you probably consume? Of like different varieties, might I point out, just specifically different varieties.
So I do at least one coffee per week, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily use every bag. Sometimes I'll give them out to friends and stuff, because I feel like it's a waste if I'm just trying to like get through a bag of coffee per week for two people is like a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
But I probably do like 2 cups a day. It's about 18 grams per cup. That's like what? A bag. There's 300 grams per bag. This is hard math. So 10 days per bag. So it's about 3.5 bags of coffee a week or a month.
Yeah, that's about as much as I myself probably. But I think the where I like fall flat on my face is that I only always migrate to the same one. And that's why I ask them, like, do you use different, like how often throughout the year, like, are you going through different bags and tastings?
Oh, always different. It's usually a different roaster, different process, different origin. Like right now in my cabinet, I probably have 6. There's 3. There's 2 now that are unopened that I haven't tried. And then I've got 2 bags that are currently like what I've been drinking to get through, like from past usage. And one's from Uganda, one's from Colombia. I've got this Mexican one now. And then I have another one from, I think it's Colombia as well. I don't even remember what the other one is. There's too many coffees. I've put myself into this niche where I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And all I long for is consistency, like your Texas Pecan.
Yeah. Once I tasted it, I like, I don't know, it just clicked. Like this is it. And I get the little like notes of pecan in there. And it's, I don't know, it just does it for me. I'm like a little bit of nut in my coffee.
Who doesn't love nuts in their coffee?
No creamer needed.
That's like just from you describing the coffee, there was like I think 3 Texas like alliterations, which pecan, which thank you for pronouncing it that way because it's not pecan. I don't know who listening to this needs to hear this, but that nut that comes inside of the shell is not a pecan. A pecan is what a redneck keeps in his car for long road trips.
Yeah.
It's a pecan. And then sprouts.
Pecan. Yeah. It's I don't know, it's been my go-to, I feel like for almost like at least 2 years now. And like since we moved into this house, or since we bought the house, it's been like I realized that Sprouts is down the street and I'm like, oh shit, I can actually do that now. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I've tried some of the other ones in there. They just don't hit the same.
I feel you. You just gotta do what you like, do what you love. So, are you originally from Dallas, born and raised?
Yeah, born and raised here in Dallas. I was born at the same hospital that JFK was pronounced dead at, I believe. Probably like where a majority of like I hear that's like a running joke where like a majority of the Mexicans like here in Dallas, they were like born in Parkland, and I'm like, same. Yeah, like I was born there, raised here in Dallas, moved to Mesquite, where like now I'm like this is where I like have my house and stuff. It's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time.
So getting into like the music scene, what was the band that like got you in? Was it a Dallas local show, or how did you kind of get into playing heavy music?
I think getting into playing heavy music, are you talking about like more just like getting into the scene aspect of it, or just like in general? Like
just like in general, did you always want to play guitar, or kind of how did that come to be?
Yeah. So, whenever I was a kid, I came across Linkin Park, like Hybrid Theory era before Meteora came out, and then like once Meteora came out, like that was it. I got really big into Linkin Park. My mom actually took me to see Linkin Park at the Bronco Bowl here in Dallas whenever I was like a kid, like early 2000s. Mind you, I'm like 30 now.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to been like 10 or something, maybe yeah, about 10 or so. I was young. I have no right to be going to a concert at that size. It was Linkin Park, Blindside opened for him, and yeah, it
Dude,
was sick as fuck.
I haven't heard
I
that
had a great
name in a
time.
long time. I fucking love
Yeah,
Blindside.
yeah. Blindside worship. It Blindside gets overlooked, and like even River played like a song by them like on the way coming back from Canada. It's a sign. It's a sign.
The first album.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So keep going.
Um,
Sorry.
very good. Yeah. After that, I think it took me a little bit to like come across a guitar, but my dad took me like a trade show here. We went to the Dallas Market Hall, and he bought me like this a starter kit. Did that. Didn't really go anywhere for a hot minute, but I think Linkin Park for sure was like my foray into heavy music. After that, I like got into my brother started to show me some punk bands like Bad Religion, Pennywise. His all time favorite was Rancid,
Mm-hmm.
and mine was Bad Religion for like the longest time. And now my mom like took me to my first Warped Tour in '05, and I got to experience My Chemical Romance, and I caught like my first like band actually watching there was Atreyu.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, and this was like I think they were still touring on Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses, so they were doing like the backwards like guitar shit.
Yeah.
It was an awesome fucking time. And I think more recently into actually getting into the scene aspect of it and like the community here is probably um I'd been in some like local bands and stuff in the area, and I feel like the guitarist from The Optimist, Jimmy, um let me kind of fill in for the band or join the band like at some point like late 2019, and that's really where I feel like I got to know the majority of like the hardcore scene that I know over like what is present day like DFW hardcore scene and like some of the just people that make it up. Yeah.
So going from that into joining like Ballista and were you in Ballista before the Kurama or was it vice versa?
Interestingly enough, it can't kind of came like coincided hand in hand. Like it was around the same time frame, I believe, but I think I joined Kurama and then like Ballista, I did like I filled in for a run. Um, and I think out there like thereafter that it like took a couple months, but there was like maybe 2-3 months difference between them back in like I think it was what 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're relatively new to like playing hardcore.
Yeah, I would say like I guess the hardcore that like that I'm playing now with
Mm-hmm.
Ballista, yeah, and Kurama too. Like 'cause we're a little in that like chaosy stuff.
Yeah.
But I was playing in like a band called The Verses for a hot minute. Like had it been like maybe 10 years ago that we were playing up to like maybe 2015, 2017. That was kind of like the band that had like my focus and stuff. And that one was more like shit. I know we were like influenced by Architects to a degree, but it didn't completely sound like Architects. I don't know. Um, I can't think of like any bands around that time to like go ahead and give a good reference point.
Like Architects is so hard to pin down because it's been through so many phases.
Yeah, it was, but it was like a not day in day out. Forgot what the album was. With these colors don't run and
But it was more on like the metalcore scene side, like the more like not like metalcore like how we think like Foreign Hands or like Kurama and things like that, but like stadium metalcore. I don't know if that's even a genre, but you know what I'm talking about. Like my God, Polaris.
Oh yeah. Wow, I never. That makes a lot of sense when you put it like that. Stadium metalcore makes a lot of sense with players.
Yeah, where it's like thousand cap room metalcore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Shit. I wish. I wish that would have happened for that band to some degree, but Yeah, no, maybe not stadium metalcore. It was definitely metalcore like metalcore, like post-hardcore for like early to mid 2010s,
Okay.
like that era. Yeah, it's on. I think we're still on Spotify. I don't think any of us have taken it down.
So you were a scene
You
kid.
want to check it out? Yeah, yeah. I was having a conversation with my partner a while ago, and Broken Side was brought up. And she was like, "Oh my God, I haven't heard that name in years." And I'm like, "Yeah, same." And, and, and then I had to break it to her that I'd been to a Broken Side show in the past, and I also have a Broken Side shirt. Yeah,
Still?
yeah. To this day, I don't. It's in boxes somewhere, but I have it.
That's amazing. I've got
Yeah.
I've got a one-up story for you.
Oh shit.
It's not me personally. Okay, so like one of my really really good friends from Montreal, he moved to Florida when he was 12 and went to like high school and college there. While he was in college, Broken Side was filming a music video for Freaks and like the one. And basically, long story short, he convinced the his friends to go try out as a dance crew because they were casting for it, and they were the only people that showed up. So they're in the video. So
Oh, that's badass.
those random people that like the random dudes that you see dancing in the video,
Yeah.
that's him and his friends, like in college.
That's that's. I mean, that's badass.
Yeah, it's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Like,
I
and
feel like
if you know this guy, it's just even funnier because he's like so like it was obviously a joke, but they did like the band because it was a scene, like pop band.
yeah, yeah. I'd recently met up with a friend in Denver because we'd like grew up together. We were talking about some like old shit that we'd done, and I remember back when we were like well, obviously when we were younger, um, we'd gone to we went to a town here like north of Dallas called Plano, and at that time they were doing a like bringing like a bunch of like the up and coming like scene bands,
Mm-hmm.
along with and just like a mixture of like bands in like the DFW scene and just all over. Like All Time Low was there, Chiodos,
Oh,
uh, the Main whenever they were
oh
touring Can't
wow,
Stop.
yeah.
Yeah, Can't Stop Won't Stop. They were touring that. And so this is around the time that Jeffree Star is like becoming a name. And I remember we were like walking around the little event center and like we saw like from across like Jeffree Star being swarmed like by a shit ton of people. Like had it been like 20, 30 people just around Jeffree. And at the time I like did not understand it. Um or like understand what was going on. But yeah, that's how far back my scene roots go. So like I'm a little, I guess you could say I'm a little bit old head, but also a little scene. I don't know. Yeah, I've seen some shit.
We're the same age, so I believe our scene history goes back to like almost the OG.
Yeah.
Because I was riding in the car with we played Ottawa the day before we went to Toronto, and me and the guitarist had to drive back to Montreal to pick up band members and stuff. And so we're on the ride back, and it's like 11 p.m. So we're like blasting, like music that we know, even though he's 10 years younger than me. And right. So
Yeah.
for him, I'm like an elder scene kid, I guess, like instead of elder emo. And and he puts on an old like Attack song from Someday Came Suddenly, like
Yeah.
bro Ashley's here or something like that. And I was like, how do you even know this song, dude? Like like this song came out when you were like 4.
Yeah, at least.
And I was like, what, 16 or 17 when this song came out. So it was just funny, like, because he's playing like all this shit. And then I was like, oh, yo, like, I remember Cash Cash. He was like, I was literally just about to put on Cash Cash. And I was like, dude, how do you know all these bands? But apparently it scene lasted a lot longer than I thought it did.
Same.
Never got to go to Warped Tour though.
Oh shit, man. I'll tell you what. I don't know how the fuck we did it. It like like you were talking I'm gonna reference the Mackie podcast a lot, but because like it just it makes sense. Like we're all like Southern kids, and so y'all mentioned the humidity, and like it's I don't know how the fuck we were doing that shit when we were like in our like early to mid, like I guess mid teens and stuff. It's hot. I'm now thinking about it in this body, I could not. I could not.
Yeah. I'm used to like the lower humidity now too. So even when it hits like 80 degrees here, like today it's 83. That's just hot. But I remember working when I was like 20, working outside like 8 hours a day and like 95 in the sun. But yeah, in this body, nope.
And in Georgia of all places too, right? Like it's all the more humid over there.
It's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother went to a basic training in Georgia. I think it was Fort I want to say Fort Hood, but I think it was Fort Bennington.
Okay.
Somewhere in Georgia. Don't exactly remember where. But
not Fort Stewart though.
Yeah, it's he was telling me it was like it sucks out here. Especially doing basic training in that type of weather. I did not feel jealous at all. I did not envy him.
No, for all the things that I miss about Georgia, I think the things I don't miss is much greater. So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not it's it's a pass through state. You don't have to stop. You can just keep going.
Interestingly enough, to add more salt into the wound, I've always passed through Georgia. I have yet to like. I've been with the bands through Georgia, with both Kurama and Ballista. I ain't played there. Passed through state.
You never played Atlanta?
Nah, not yet.
You gotta play Atlanta.
Yeah. We have a lot of homies in Georgia and Alabama. We should do something like a southeast little run.
I like it. I like Birmingham. I lived in Birmingham for like 2 years. So big fan of Birmingham. And shout out No Cure because they weren't around when I lived there, but that band's sick.
No Cure is the shit. Yeah. We've played with them several times, I feel like, in the past year, and every time it's always been fun.
That's like
much love to them.
Yeah, that's like the good version of what I think we were playing when we were seeing kids. Like that's like the correct version of what should have been. Like what we had thought we were playing is what that actually is. And that I'll just leave it there. Probably gonna get hate for that one, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's all in love.
No crabcore or anything. Just good heavy music.
Yeah, just good straight edge. Fuck you.
Yeah, that too. I love that. Are you writing for both those projects as well?
As if I can, yeah. But I feel like most of the time, even thinking back to some of the material that we're working on now, it feels like a lot of it's brought on by like some of the other guitar players, or maybe even just like other members in the band. But I can think of for Ballista, I feel like our main writer, or like the person that can bring like a solid skeleton to work on is Jonathan, our the guitar player. And then I'll go ahead and have like some ideas, like kind of enhance it. I feel like same thing with Kurama. I feel like Ethan does a lot of the writing there, and I'll just fill it out as much as I can and do like some weird I don't know, just the things that I hear that I feel like would complement well. And I feel like most of the time I do a good job of like getting it right and like setting the tone. I feel like you can hear that a little bit in All Dogs. If you look up Kurama, All Dogs Go to Heaven. There's like a little bit of a interesting mixture that I feel like I did there.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Ballista, I joined in whenever they were essentially wrapping up mixing for Ballista Territory for like that coming out. And then
Mm-hmm.
that came out, and yeah, we've just been playing that. It's been solid.
Did you get to do any writing or recording on like the game, like the singles?
Yeah, it was like for the game. I feel like it's like a almost not even worth mentioning on my part, because like I literally did I came in and everything was pretty much done, because I think I was starting to work on another band that I'm in now called Immigration. I was like had like a previously scheduled practice, and I would have felt bad if I had gone to that as opposed to the recording, because like the recording like for that came up a little abrupt for me. So like I just I don't know, I didn't want it was kind of like an overbooked thing, but not. And so all I really got to do was the high pitched lead in the game was the ding ding, and that's it. I think out of both of those releases, that's it. And I remember recording it being like, damn, I feel like y'all could have just done this.
I didn't even need to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I still came out, had a good time. And yeah, I always have a good time.
That's
But yeah, that's the only hand I had in those two, if I'm being real.
that's like Dan from Callous Cowboys. They were saying that on I think it was Therapist. It was all they did was do some chugs on like a breakdown. So
yeah, sometimes that's all that's needed is just
that's all it needs.
the right player, the right player, the right feel. Yeah.
So yeah, it's you did your thing. You did your thing, dog, as Randy Jackson would say.
Yeah. And that's what I appreciates about you and Randy Jackson.
You did your thing.
Yeah. But no, that's really been it. And I feel like for some of the newer stuff that we're writing on now, that's where like I don't know, you might hear more of like my little writing inputs. Yeah.
So what do y'all got in the works right now?
For Ballista, we just had a late band practice yesterday. We're running through like the new material. It's like 4 songs, and we're talking about starting the recording process for that officially next week. We were gonna start it, I want to say, back in September, but things happen, life happens, and yeah, just gonna push that back. And that's what we have planned for Ballista in terms of writing and stuff. We're pretty much towards the tail end of it. Should be recording that. Other than that, we have a few festivals that we're playing, like the Heavy Hitters Note Festival in Austin, thanks to Felipe, and No Sleep, I believe, if that hasn't been announced. Whoopsies. But we'll be playing No Sleep in Houston, and that'll be in December. I feel like that's really about it. After the New York festival that we did in Holter Ground, I feel like it's now just kind of coming down to the I don't know unwinding, or just how you say it. I don't know, just like not getting as busy with Ballista for the rest of this year. Kurama we're still like talking about recording, and we're in the process of writing as well. Same thing with Immigration. Somehow like all the bands are just in the same boat, and we're playing shows here and there. That's about it.
Isn't Immigration like pop punk?
Yeah, it's like it's almost like Title Fight Worship, I feel like, is what we try and go for. At least that's the vibe that Spencer, like our front man, really wanted to go for is Title Fight Worship, some of that shoegazy, sad boy music.
So like Hyperview style Title Fight or Floral Green?
Floral green. Yeah.
Floral Green.
Yeah.
Cool.
More than that.
Yeah, that's what I like that. That's my favorite album from them.
Yeah. Hyperview was good. Did not hit the same. It's very laid back. A lot of chorus.
A lot of chorus.
A lot of chorus.
A lot of reverb.
Yeah. It's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. I think that's the first and only Title Fight CD that I own.
Really? Hyperview?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. I got into them probably after they broke up. And yeah. I got into that like this was on Run for Cover, right? Yeah. I feel like I got into those like that era of Run for Cover like bands like Citizen and like Balance and Composure. I feel like Man Overboard falls into that. I don't know if they were on Run for Cover, but a lot of those like that era of bands and like that new wave started to come out. I missed that train entirely. Even with Balance and Composure, they're like one of my favorite bands. I got into them way late. Yeah, thankfully I saw them before they decided to go on a hiatus. But still, I don't know if that paints a good picture into that set of bands. Like,
well, I think some of them I missed. Like Citizen, I was into like Youth. That was their best album.
Yeah,
and then Turnover has just consistently been my favorite. I think out of all those bands, especially since Title Fight ended and Turnovers kept putting out music. But like Balancing Composure, very much like missed kind of the train on that one. Like I really love their music now, but when they were out, I was not listening to them so much. So
yeah. I think I got into them at like out of all the bands, I probably got into them first. I don't know, somehow they were like the most digestible for me at the time, if that makes sense. I'll put it in terms like with Norma Jean, like whenever I was probably like late 2010 or something like that, around that time, I'd heard like Oh God, the Aftermath era Norma Jean, and I was like, this is too spicy for me. This type of hardcore is not what I'm into right now. And then it was digestible for me after a little bit. But yeah, Balance and Composure, I got into them I think whenever The Things We Think We're Missing came out. That's like the only tattoo I have is like them. It's like the artwork for it.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you can see it. Well, it's also like the Old English High, like for Every Time I Die, because I also like them a lot too. Yeah, just slapped that together and was like, that's it. That's the tattoo I'm getting.
Both dead bands.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Rest and rip.
What about Better Lovers though?
I haven't I've listened to it, but it hasn't been on the rotation as much as I feel like it should be. You know, like I've been to my fair share of ETID shows, like bar none. I've seen them a lot.
Okay.
I've seen Dillinger as well. Saw them play like a crazy ass set in Austin at the Mohawk. And I thought I was going to die. I remember Ben threw his guitar into the crowd and I heard it hit somebody's head, just like wood hitting somebody's head. And I was like, damn, I'm glad that was me. That shit would have put me out. It was a solid fuck. That, I don't know, that show was insane, but I still haven't gotten onto the Better Lovers train completely. What about you?
So Every Time I Die, I was never huge onto them because I was more into like Norma Jean and like He Is Legend and like The Chariot. So
Oh yeah.
I felt like every time I die was like not watered down because I know how influential they are, but it was just a little too rock. Like
Yeah.
if I wanted chaos, I wanted like just all chaos.
Yeah. The chariot is like peak
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
100% get it.
So I really liked Dillinger as well, especially like that first, like their first stuff was like sugar coated sour.
Hmm.
Whenever I saw that video of them at Virgin Megastore, I was like, this is what I want. Like, I want to do that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm thankful for Kurama because it like lets me live my very very watered down Dillinger fantasy.
yes. Are you going to stack all your amps in the center and light them on fire and shit like that?
No, that's financially irresponsible. We can't afford that.
In this
Strengthen my
economy,
man. I don't have a job.
we can't even afford dummy cabs. Like, I can't even.
Uh-uh. I'd have to like run to Lowe's and like put that shit together myself. And
Damn.
mind you, I haven't gone into my handyman like era yet, so
Oh,
I'm pretty
shit.
sure that shit would collapse on me.
Yeah. I wonder what age we're supposed to be at before that happens. Like, I'm at 30, you're at 30. It's
Uh,
got to be soon, right?
I'm thinking it's got to be soon. Like owning the house has gotten me thinking like a different way. I remember like whenever I decided to resign from my job recently, I was like, all right, I'll do some projects around the house. We can make a compost bin. That'll be fucking badass. 'Cause we've been wanting to have one for a while. Which I should probably do that this week and stop putting it off. But that and like a rainwater collection
Mm-hmm.
like bin, wanted to do one of those. But like it's got me thinking, it's got me thinking I should figure out how to maintain my household. Um, so now I'm thinking I should be a handyman so I can at least learn those skills and it'll apply back home.
Yeah. And
Literally.
then you can like learn how to fix guitar cabinets and build like a drum set from scratch and stuff.
That'd be insane to make a whole ass drum set.
I would never want to do that. And I play
I
drums.
I kind of I kind of don't want to build guitars, but at the same time I do. Like I think the intimidating aspect of it is how like they'll get all crafty with it and just work around the bodies like with the chisel. That's intimidating to me.
Yeah.
We have friends. Ethan plays in the guitarist for Kurama plays in another band called Blood Between Us, and their guitarist Christian, uh, great fucking guitar player, solid fucking luthier too. Like the guitars, if you ever like look up the band Blood Between Us, he's playing the guitars that he's like built for both guitar and bass, and it's like I don't know how I don't like I admire that.
Yeah.
I admire that a lot. Like that's really sick that you can play something that you made. And that's some next level shit. And I just haven't gotten to that point yet. I can like I think the closest I've gotten is like rewiring pickups.
Yeah. I can solder 3 points together.
Yeah. And even then it's like barely.
Touch and go.
Yeah. Like I've done work for some friends of mine and like haven't gotten paid for it. And I'm like, rightfully so.
Yeah. This could fall apart at any moment.
Yeah, but I know it works. It's like some redneck engineering type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, very much on board with that.
yeah.
Like one time the bassist in my band, his bass was like buzzing. It was like a cheap Harley Benton. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, like I'll take it home. I can solder it sounds like there's a grounding issue. So I open up the
Mhm.
back. Obviously, ground is like almost completely off. So I was like, oh fuck. So I like soldered it on, tried to get the cables back in, and he plugged it in and was like, oh yeah, it works. The noise is gone. I was like, thank fuck. It was only a matter of time before it was gonna come back. And then I think he sold it. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way that this is gonna hold. No way. Like
It honestly it'd be like that. it really be like that. I had the same issue with Tucker for a Kurama show. It was like right before like we were like loading in and stuff, and Tucker comes up to me and was like, "I'm not getting a signal from my bass." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay. Well, I've been getting in the habit of like going to shows now in my like being 30. I guess is where like the handyman era is starting to form for me.
Right.
It's like I'll bring a toolbox full of like guitar tools and shit, including like a soldering iron and like a multimeter. And so I'm going through Tucker's bass. I'm like, oh yeah, there's no ground to it. I'm not getting any like continuity or anything. And so I'm like trying to like rig some shit up like last minute before we start playing, and I finally get something going. I'm like, well, I got signal. There's at least that. And it's like had to tape like the ground wire that goes to the bridge, like externally, like so you can see it like on like coming outside of the control plate,
Yeah.
leading to the bridge. And I put some like masking tape over it so it doesn't like go anywhere, because Tucker also goes off like on stage, like again Dillinger type shit, and it held up. It held up. But yeah, been getting in the habit of taking tools and shit, and that's one of those moments where I'm like, thank fuck, I'm glad that worked. Long-winded. Sorry,
Yeah,
I had to figure out landing the plane.
We're not completely like I'm not the smartest. I don't know if you feel this way. I'm not the smartest person, and when I do something like that and it works, then I just feel, like the bar was so low that you can only go up, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's been said before, and I'll say it again. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
It's true.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I bought like a motorcycle project before the pandemic. This has just been a motorcycle project that I've had for years now. It's a 77 Harley Ironhead Sportster, and I bought it as like the engine in the frame with like barely even like a rolling chassis, because the way that the wheels were on the bike is like, I think the front tire had this like just long bolt that the person that owned it before me found, and like just smacked it like as the axle, and it wasn't like to the dimensions, to the width that it needed to be to fit into the front forks. So it was all wobbly and shit. That's how bad of a condition it was. No wiring or anything on the bike, mind you, as well. So as the pandemic happened, I was starting to get back to it. And my greatest accomplishment, I feel like one of my greatest accomplishments to this day, is like I put the wiring to that bike all together myself, like figured it out. And I'd also got it running after having sat for like 20 years or something. Like I'd never heard the bike. Whenever I bought the bike in like, I want to say 2017, didn't hear it running. Obviously it was a project, but I'd got it running, and I rode it around like the storage unit where I was keeping it, because I was living at my dad's house at the time. I'd got it running, and I was like, this is fucking incredible. Like this is the first time I've heard this bike running. And like, it's because I did the wiring to it, got the fuel going, all that shit. I was like, again, the bar is very fucking low,
right?
Way low. I've never like touched a car or worked on anything like to that degree. And I was able to get that bitch running. Is insane.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you still have it? You still run? Or
I still have it. It's in the backyard. But before we moved, I try to go take it to get inspected, so that way I can get the title for it, through like a loophole. If I don't have the title, all I have is like a bill of sale. And so I was going to get it inspected for the first time, and it died on me. And I think it's because I put too much oil in it, and I had to walk it back like a mile to the storage unit, with like uphill and downhill. The uphill was a struggle. The downhill was badass, and I was able to coast for a hot minute. Um, but yeah, I got it running. Haven't ran it since. Because of it going out on me at that time, I took apart where the cams are on the bottom right side of the engine, and it's just been like that ever since like late 2021. I've been meaning to get back to it, and that's also one of the products many projects that I have for this time where I'm not working. I'm like, I should get that bike running again so I can ride it and like have fun, because I've been wanting to ride for years now.
Well, I hope that I hope that you do it, because I really want a motorcycle, and whenever people have motorcycles, I feel like they're cooler people. Is that why you have a motorcycle, so that you can feel cool?
I felt a lot cooler whenever I was like 10 years ago, whenever I was riding. Now I just feel like I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna be able to do this again in this body. Man, like everything hurts. Everything affects me. I've had like lower back pain for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And like I remember whenever I had first started riding, I'd ride like from one end of Dallas to the other end of Fort Worth, which is like an hour or so minimum. In the cold, in the rain, I do some stupid shit, and like I don't know if I would be able to do that now. So I don't know if I feel cool doing it now, but I feel like because I want to make it an old school chopper, it might give me some cool points. I don't know. I'm hoping so. But if you're ever if and whenever we get y'all down here, I'll go for a ride.
I've never ridden, so
I'll take care of you.
Okay.
I got you.
That's dope.
I'll take care of you. Yeah.
I'll get my Harley Davidson shirt and, cut the sleeves off.
Yeah. go full like alt goth.
Yeah.
All like full on present day alt goth mode. Yeah. I feel like that's the vibe.
I'm into that, yeah. Grow like a rat tail.
Yeah.
Rat tails
get a mullet.
Yeah, or a skullet, like Cody from Sanguis Sugabog.
I need to see this. I know Sanguis Sugabog, but I don't know what they look like individually, if that makes sense. I don't know their faces.
The drummer has a skullet.
I feel like I was going to mention earlier, as you were talking about with the your buddy being in the Broken Side video. I feel like now is the time to start implementing the videos of you doing these podcasts.
Oh yeah, so that you can
so you
share.
Can just like you can see the clip of it
zoomed in on his face.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a good motive. That's a good motive, so that I can like just straight up dox my friends on the podcast.
Yeah, like, yeah. Put a name to the face.
I'm gonna have him on the podcast just to talk about that experience. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, a little blast from the past.
Yeah, just walk me through your scene days, and then he's gonna be like, "I was in Broken Side." Anyway, you also book shows.
Yeah, I book shows occasionally. In the DFW, yeah. I used to. I do it now with a lot of the Ballista guys, but Ballista people. But before I was doing that with a company called Noise Rot. Started with a buddy of a few friends of ours, and doing some shows around that. And yeah, time progressed. Now I'm doing it with Robert and River and our buddy Nate in Deep Incision. We'll book some shows, and yeah, we've just been putting them on here and there. I feel like Robert does a lot of the booking for COTC, as COTC booking is what we call it. And right now I'm working on a show for like October 23rd. It's coming up here. It'll be in Denton, and trying to work on a show for Kurama actually in November. Trying to keep myself a little bit busy with booking some shows. I tried to do some booking for Ballista recently for our Canada run. That all for the majority of it fell through completely. Yeah, booking is a lot. I've come to learn that booking is a lot easier within the vicinity of where you live compared to
Yeah.
like outside. It's like same concept, but still like there's some challenges.
Wait, so y'all drove straight from DFW to Hold Your Ground?
Yeah, so whenever we saw you all play the pre-show with Gates to Hell, that was like we just crossed the border a few hours earlier in the day, and it was like a straight we didn't stop. So like our van situation thankfully had like 4 bunks in the back,
Mm-hmm.
so like two on the bottom, two on top, and yeah, I just remember sleeping throughout the night with River and Robert and Irving. They did like the overnight drive for that, and then River and I finished it up by going ahead and crossing the border and stuff, um, doing the drive through Canada. We did that straight. We wanted. I was like trying to line some things up beforehand, but it was tough. But mind you, I feel like I'll give myself some grace and say that like I only had like 2-3 weeks at max to like try and get some things together.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wish we would have got y'all in Montreal before. That would have been sick.
That would have been real fucking sick. That would have been crazy cool.
Or y'all could have jumped on the Ottawa show with us like that Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when we started heading out. I feel like I'd already had the van by like Tuesday night, so if we'd really try to push it, probably could have made it. Yeah.
It was like a 20-hour drive. No, it's not. It's more. It's like almost 30, right?
From I remember the drive was like 21, like straight, and I think with the stops it maybe came out to like closer to 30. But I want to say we were in Canada by like 4 o'clock that day. No, couldn't have been 4. I feel like it was earlier. I'd have to check back and see if anything, but yeah, we got back or we got into Canada, crossed into it like maybe around noon.
Oh my God.
Day. Yeah.
And
then we left Dallas around 1 p.m. the day before. So I guess that would have been like 2 Eastern time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like 24 straight. Shit.
Yeah.
Y'all are monsters.
Yeah, the thing I've come to learn about us is like like we'll push it. We're kind of a little bit. I feel like we're a little bit crazy in that regard. We're like, oh, we shouldn't be. Not to say that we shouldn't be doing it, but it's just like, oh, we test ourselves. We did our back in August, we did a run to New York for a festival for the Tribes of the Moon Fest, and had some dates on the way back, and we did all of that in like a van with no AC in the middle of summer. Did some overnight drives for that too, because I remember doing an overnight drive from Columbus to Philadelphia because everybody wanted to have a Philadelphia experience, even though we weren't playing in Philly. So I got to experience a Philly cheesesteak and like homeless people coming up to random people and being like, "Hey, bitch, let me have $1." It was the coolest shit I've ever experienced in my life. And like I ran on no sleep while we were in Philly, and I'm really happy that we do some of the things that we do.
Didn't y'all drive from like after y'all played the first night at Hold Your Ground, y'all drove to Niagara?
Yeah, I drove us to Niagara. And I was joking with Irving earlier while we were in the process of like trying to jumpstart his car. I was joking with him like we went to Hold Your Ground, experienced that, and stayed up late enough to get like Church's Texas chicken, which is something that we can get here in Texas. We went to that of all places in Canada.
But it's not the same. It's not the same Church's.
Yeah, it's absolutely not the same. It tasted good. But it's not the same. Not the same Church's that I grew up with. But yeah, we'd stayed up late, super fucking late for Church's. And then I drove us to Niagara Falls while everybody else was asleep. And I remember getting there at like 5, rolling down the window and just hearing the roaring of just like the falls. I'm like, this is scary as shit. It felt eerie. Um, yeah, it was an interesting experience, and I pulled up to like a random parking lot in front of the old power station and parked, tried to get a little bit of sleep, and that woke everybody up for like sunrise, or at least to make it to sunrise to catch the Niagara Falls sunrise. I figured it'd be pretty. I feel like it'd be a nice like little Kodak moment. Sometimes I'm thoughtful.
And then y'all drove back and moshed like the rest of the day.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody else moshed. I'm not like I always feel bad about it, and I always feel like an old head because I don't mosh. But I'm always like I always have a good time just like experiencing and enjoying like the music. Like I'll always have like the biggest grin on my face, like watching bands and like watching everybody like throw down like as hard as they do. Sometimes occasionally getting hit and shit. I'm like, that's badass. Everybody vibes do differently.
That's true.
And but they got rest and they moshed a majority of like everybody, the rest of the band.
Yeah. I had never seen anybody mosh as hard for Cloned Apparition as River at that show.
Yeah.
Which was sick.
And Cloned Apparition is a very fucking sick band.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw you had the episode with I want to say it was Alex and Alice.
Yeah, Alec and Alice.
Yeah. I need to listen to that episode. I saw it while I was scrolling. And I was like, that's gonna be queued up for later.
Well, Ed, I feel like we've talked for so long. We know so much about each other now.
Yeah.
We're scene brothers.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I feel like before we wrap it up, I wanted to talk about because I bringing it back to a coffee. What's your typical order like whenever you go to a coffee shop?
This is
like,
something
what you go to now.
I should have asked you this too.
I'm helping us out.
So because I make so much drip coffee at home, like I do pour over coffees. Usually if I go to a shop, I do something I can't get like at home. So usually it's like a cortado with oat milk. Or I like seasonal drinks if they're interesting. Like
interesting in what regard?
Like if it's like a cool flavor for like the season. Like if a shop has like a homemade pumpkin spice latte, I'll get that for sure. Or like an autumn flavored drink, or maple lattes are fucking delicious. So something that I can't get at home, I'll order it.
Okay. I'm glad you put it that way. Because sometimes I feel a little fake getting like my little like basic drinks.
What basic drink? Like a seasonal drink or something?
To an extent, yeah. There's a notable coffee shop here in Dallas called White Rock Coffee that I'll frequent, and I'm a fucking slut for their at like now seasonal. I'm a tried and true slut for their blended pumpkin spice chai latte.
Wow.
With oat milk.
This is you're the second person to bring up pumpkin flavored chai in the past week.
It's the way to go.
So now I got to try it.
Yeah, you should try it.
Damn.
Yeah, you guys are coming in the fall. Are you planning to? If I hope so, because if that's the case, it's going on right now, and I'll take you there. We'll just have a great time.
We're gonna come for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick, and we're gonna have blended pumpkin spice chais.
Hell
and
yeah.
Maybe we'll have like a follow-up episode. I don't know, but yeah, that's been my like go-to for them as of late. And there's a coffee shop that I found down the street from me called Bear Cave Coffee. They're here in Mesquite, and I'll get what they call an El Oso, because also is bear, and it's just, I think it's horchata. It's like an horchata mixed coffee drink. Delicious, very delicious.
There was a shop in my hometown called Foxy Loxy, and it was basically this couple from Texas moved from, I think it was Houston, honestly, because they used to make kolaches, but they moved to Savannah and opened the shop, and they used to do an horchata latte, and it was fucking sick. So
yeah, right.
I'm marked out for horchata flavored coffee drinks.
Yeah.
There's actually, I'll say this too. This is worth noting. There's a taqueria like right down the street from my house. It's like my favorite spot, like for tacos or anything. And they have my favorite like horchata in the neighborhood. Actually, probably in Montreal. And I'll go. They don't have to go cups, so either they'll give you like a little like a bag, like a bolsita of horchata, or I'll take like a Yeti cup, like a big ass Yeti cup, and have her fill it up, bring it home, and then I'll make like cold brew or something, and then mix them together.
Dirty horchata.
Oh, a dirty horchata. Yeah. It's the move. Anybody listening?
It is the fucking move.
Listen to me. Anybody listening, if you have not mixed coffee in horchata, and if you're white and you're scared of horchata, don't be scared. I have a lot of white friends that are nervous about it, and I'm like, it's just rice milk.
Yeah, and it's a little bit spicy because of the cinnamon.
That's it. It's got a nice. It's a fall flavor.
Truly, it's like eggnog. If it's like what I would picture eggnog to be, if that makes sense.
But there is eggnog.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I know that, but I don't know what I'm trying to correlate there.
I'm curious to know what's going on in the noggin with this thought train.
Yeah, the egg noggin.
Ouch.
Yeah.
On that note, and before we wrap up, what's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns?
My favorite city?
Yeah.
I heard you ask Mackie this. Wish I'd done some research and remember their names before this, because like I will go to like I will do that thing where I'll go to coffee shops. Irving pointed this out to me. I didn't know how much I'd do it, but I do go to I do the thing where I go to the local coffee shop, try it out. Shit. I know there was one in Brooklyn before we played Tribes of the Moon that gave me this like awesome ass chai latte with oat milk. It was fucking delicious, and I wish I remember, but it was like down the street from the Bowery. It's like in that vicinity.
Were you was it Say SEY?
Let me, if you give me a moment to look it up, I'm really good with my geography. And I remember where it was. It was delicious. No, it wasn't. Let's do this again. I think it was Fiat Coffee. Was that it? No, it was Yours Truly. Yours Truly was the coffee shop. It's there in New York. Yours Truly. That place was delicious. Yeah. 1010. That. Yeah. It's is really good. I had a great time. I know I've had really good coffee there. That I can remember off like the top of my head for a spot. That'd be it. Yeah. Or the ballroom in Austin, Texas, where Get Real Promotions and Felipe put on a lot of the shows. They have a dirty horchata on the menu for their bar. So I'll get like at least 2 of them anytime we play. I'll probably have 2 of them when we're there next week for heavy hitters. It's the move, dirty horchata.
That's gonna be All right, now I gotta go play Austin. I need that.
Yeah. Austin, the ballroom with Get Real Promotions. We'll make it happen.
That's
Fall
it.
2024. Yeah.
We're just going to go ahead and manifest that.
Yeah. Gonna put it out there.
Well, Ed, thanks so much for chilling. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is like the second podcast I've done. It was badass. I appreciate the opportunity.
Second podcast, best podcast.
Means a lot. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, brother. You too.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Edward for hanging out on the podcast. Be sure to check out the music from both Kurama and BALLISTA, available on all streaming platforms, and check out their upcoming dates. Both are on their Instagram pages in the description of this episode. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.